How many journals are you all working on? I currently have 5 journal projects. Why so many? Well, it's because I get bored. Well, not bored, I get burnt out. And I need to mix things up a bit to get my creative mind flowing. When I'm working on my projects, I'm noticing my stuff are all over the place. And as you all know, craft room is always unorganized and a mess. So if you're having the same issues, let's get organized together. Welcome, it's Winnie from BellaSunshyn. I'm sure you all remember Archie. This is my idea book, and what I made for Archie is I made a little pouch like this to keep things that I've already used for pockets, or if I've already made a pocket for Archie, I'll just put it in here. And this is just from a paper bag, and you open it and you get a little pouch. So what I want to do is I want to make more of this pouch, and then I want to make a book to put these in. I don't have a prototype, but I will show you guys what I have in mind. I have been playing around with my junk book. This was supposed to be my planner, but I ended up not using a planner. So what I want to do is I want to make I want to alter a book to make pockets like these, to be able to put my pouch in, like this. And I've already did a lot of trials and errors, so you guys can see which design you guys would like. We have this one that's cut, and I guess these, I'm going to call these as the connector. The connector is glued a little bit different, so it makes your page a little bit small, which I'm not liking. And then with this one, I just did a fold connector. I'm hoping y'all can see that right here. But it's pretty tight, and it's also not fitting my paper easily. So I'm not really liking that either. And then this one, I just did 3 pages together, and it's only glued on the outside here. There's another one here. And this one I like, and my pouch will go in there easily. I know this is big, but this is not the book I'm using. Then I decided, okay, what if this is a 2-inch opening? So we have a 4-inch connector, and it's folded in inch apart. So this is an inch, which makes it 2 inches. So it's a 2-inch opening. So I thought maybe that's a little bit big, and so I decided to change it to an inch opening, which I think I like that size. Then I wanted to see, as you guys can see my book, you can see I'm just using book pages, and you're gonna have to do a lot of distress ink it if you want to match it. So I was thinking, what if I use the paper that comes with this paper bag? Here's another one that's an inch by itself. No, I'm sorry, this is 2 inches. And I'm not liking it because it just kind of stays open like this. So I decided to check out the 1-inch opening, which still opens. And my paper, or my pouch, goes in there easily. So I think what I'm gonna go with is, I'm gonna go with this style. I'm gonna cut a little bit, because for some reason, if we have a pouch, I just put a little bit of stuff in here that's supposed to go all the way in. It looks like this, which it doesn't look so bad. If we do the other inch, this one here, it just, I don't know, I'm not liking the look. So I think I'm gonna go with this kind. I think I like it like that. And this will give us a chance to maybe put a tab to tell us what it is, maybe. And I also kind of did some trial on pockets. If you guys have little ones like this for little, you know, tiny bits and pieces, you can just put it in here, or you can put it in here. And I want to do opposite, so that way your book, it's not going to get bulky at the bottom or the top. So we're going to do a mixture. So first thing first, what we need is find the bag that you all want to use. This is a Chipotle bag that I have. You can use a grocery bag, whatever bag you guys have multiples of, or what's the biggest size you guys want to do. Pick out your paper bag. Once you have the bag that you want to use to make the pouch, then you'll be able to pick out the book that you want to alter. I am going to do a mixture of Chipotle bag and the Brahms bag. I only have 3 of these. I wish I had more, but this is the perfect size for me. So I want to use this book. I love the cover. I'm not going to do anything to it, maybe just do a closure. And I want to go ahead and alter this book. So grab your stuff and let's go ahead and let's begin. We need to go ahead and prep our book. And for the newbies, there are 2 types of book. One is glued down, and the other one has sewn in signatures. I've never seen this. This is actually the first. This has a combination of both. And what I mean by that is, I'm not sure if you guys can tell. You see how this folds right here? That means that is a sewn in signature. It'll have a thread in there. And then the rest of them are glued. So when I opened this book, I noticed the first couple of pages are actually sewn in. And I know that is by lifting the page like this. See this? That means there is a thread in the middle. So if we find the middle, we are going to see the thread. I'm hoping y'all can see that. There is a thread right there, which means you're going to have to rip the pages differently when you are working on a sewn in signature. This book is a lot more complicated than I thought. It's actually all a sewn in signature. It's not glued down. It is just very difficult to see the thread. One, they're using white thread, and it's really, I guess they have so many that it's so hard to see it. But this is the center of my signature right here. I can see the thread. So again, if you're altering a book that has the sewn in, you have to find the center. Once you find the center, to rip the pages out, you'll have to take both sides, right? The left and the right. Then you have to rip it carefully without tearing the thread that you have. So you're going to rip like this. See that's coming off? If you only rip one, this other one is going to be loose. That's why it's important to find the center and rip in the center. So we're tearing this like this, okay? That's what we have. Then if you want to hide the thread, all you have to do once you figure out how many pages you need to take out is to glue these 2 pages together, and that will hide the thread there. Now, if you're altering a book that is glued, all you're going to do is you're going to decide what's your first page. So let's say this is the first page that you're going to keep. So you're going to keep this, and you're going to, if you're going to double, go ahead and glue these together. If not, you're going to start ripping this page. So you're going to rip depending on how thick your book is and how many you want. You can rip 5 or 10. It's up to you. So once you rip all your pages, you are going to have a lot of uneven pages here because you're not gonna rip all straight. To hide that, that's going to be the inside of your pocket. So this was your first, you ripped in between, and then this one is when you're going to add your connector together. Hopefully that was clear enough. I have other videos that I altered the book, so if you guys want to see another example, go check those videos out, and I will go ahead and put the link below. But for now, what we need to go ahead and do is go ahead and finish taking out pages to our book. And once I complete mine, I'll be right back. I finished altering my book, and here are all the pages I took out. There's a lot of them. Normally it doesn't take me that long to alter a book, but the signatures on this one gave me some problems, so it took me a couple of hours. But I went ahead and marked my book. You see the paper clip. These are going to be the pouch storage. So I counted, I have 15 that I need to make. And the way I kind of figure out if I took out enough pages is I did some trials. I have a couple of pouches that I already cut, and all I did was I just put them in the book like I'm going to store them in there. So I'm putting one in between just to see what it would look like. So that has about 4 pouches. And if I were to do more, I can just add, I just have a couple of things that I've already made that just kind of give you some bulk. So let's say, what's that, 6 pouches? That's a pretty good, I think I'm liking that. Not too bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with this. Let me show you guys the inside of my book. This is already glued, and this is the first mistake I made. I took out way too much, and as you can see, that is the center of my signature. I'm gonna have to just cover that up with a washi tape later. This is already doubled. I doubled the pages. I want to double the pages because I want to make sure it's sturdy. So some of my pages are already doubled. So this is doubled and this is double. I'm gonna leave these alone, and then there is my first pocket. And with this one, what I need to do is, this is already doubled, this is not. And as you can see, there is my other center of my signature, which is not looking too pretty. But that's okay, we're not gonna be seeing that. We're going to glue this. And then with this page and this page is where we're going to add the connector, right? And what I did with my book is in between the pouch pocket, I just skipped a couple of maybe 1 or 2 pages. So this one has 1 single. And then for my next pocket here, here's my second pocket. I have, these is gonna be doubled. And then this is going to be doubled. So I have 2 single, and then there's my third pouch pocket, and then I'm skipping. So depending on your book, you can do the same thing. I didn't really have any formula. I let the book tell me what I need to do. If there was a picture in your book that you wanted to keep, then you know to not rip that page. That would be your first page for your pocket or for the single that you're doing. All right, so I have an extra step to do with my pages. What I need to do is I need to go ahead and double up my pages, and then we can work on the connectors. I wanted to show you guys, I am just using my glue stick. Now this says Scotch Permanent Glue Stick, but this is actually the same thing as the Scotch Create. I'm not sure if they changed the packaging, but it's got the same UPC code and it's acting the same thing. So I don't know how, this is what Amazon sent me. So to glue your pages together to make it extra sturdy, so like I said, this one I am going to glue. I am just using my glue stick. Like I said, if you are using any type of liquid glue, that's fine too. All you need to do is to make sure you get to the edges over here and here and here. And then depending on the center here, you don't have to do it. I would just leave that alone and just focus on the outside. Oh, I think I'm gonna have to take off my paper clip here. That did not glue very well. That's okay, it's a junk journal. It's okay if it's not pretty. Okay, so note to self, take off all your paper clip. When you do glue your pages together, make sure you give your book time to dry before working on it. So that's what I will be doing. It's the next day and I have my book all glued and dried. I let it sit overnight. And as you can see, some of my pages will have some wrinkles in them. And that's not because of the glue, that's actually my mistake. I also added marking on my pages since I had to take off the paper clip. I went ahead and add the X's to it. No, that tells me that I need to connect these two pages to be my first pouch. So now what we need to do is we need to go ahead and cut our page, because remember we are doing this. This is the pocket I've chosen. So whatever pocket you all are doing, just do what you're going to be doing. You'll have to skip this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cut. For you to know how much to cut, you want to take your pouch. Since I'm going to have two different sizes, I know this is actually wider than my Brahms bag. So I'm gonna go with this one. The height on these is not gonna make any difference because that's how we already know this is going to fit the book I chosen. So with this one, I am just kind of placing it in between to see, you know, how much to cut. And I just kind of eyeballed it, you know, if it's gonna sit like this. I'm gonna go ahead and cut this, and to make my life easy, I just used my ruler, and I just kind of did the, I guess, under the number, and that's how wide it is. I think it's about 1/2 inch. Yes, it's about 1/2 inch. So that's what I'm going to be cutting. I'm going to attempt to use my cutting board. If not, I would have to do it with my my knife and just cut those off. So I'm gonna do one and then show you guys how to do the connectors. I have my page cut, and I went ahead and inked it, and I did a washi tape just so you guys can easily see it better. So that's what our first pouch pocket is going to look like. Now what we need to do is we need to do the connectors. We need to make them, and I am just using the book page that came out of this. And what we need to do is I just took one page. Because my paper is thin, I'm going to double my connectors. It's up to you if you want to double it or not. So I'm just folding them in half, and I need to determine what size or what length I need this to be. We don't want to glue our connector to the very edge. We need to have some kind of gap in there. And I think I'm gonna go with, this is about 6 1/4. So I think I'm gonna go with 6. So let me go ahead and cut this to 6. My connectors are cut to the size that I need it for. Just a suggestion, you might want to just do one page or one pocket first. Try not to do an abundance of, I know it makes sense to cut all our connectors to this size and then work on it. I want to do a trial for this particular book that I'm going to be using just to make sure it's going to all work out. So the next step we have is going to be just gluing our connector to the edges of this, and we can use liquid glue or glue stick. And what you want to make sure with these, you want to make sure they're dry, because then we're going to have to fold them. If the glue is still wet, it's going to rip or something else is going to happen to it. So make sure your connectors are dry from the glue. So let me go ahead and do that. I have my connectors glued and dry, so now we need to do the fold. If you are working on the 4-inch, making it a 2-inch opening, you're going to need to score it in 3, 2, and 1. And of course you can always just fold it in half. Now if you do it this way, you won't need the scoreboard. And then you fold this in half like this, backwards. And then you do the other side, like this. And there is one of your connector. Of course, mine is different since we're doing a 1-inch opening. This is I have 3. It's easier for me to use a scoreboard. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to do it right in the middle, which is going to be 1.5. So I'm going to score it right in the 1.5. And then I'm going to do it 1 on 1. This will give me 1 inch over here. And then I'm going to do it on 2. Again, that's going to be 1 inch on the other side. Now, of course, if you guys want to just do the easily fold, you can make this size, any size. I just want it thick enough so it's easier for me to glue. Then you would just go ahead and fold it. And then when you fold this other half, you're going to go the other direction here. Make sure you guys use your bone folder to really fold in your connectors. So now I have both of them done. And let's go ahead and get our page in here. So now we would need to glue our connector. Now if you are going to beautify your project keeper, what you want to go ahead and do, if you're going to ink, now would be the time to ink these over here. I'm not going to do this because mine is going to be all one color since I'm using the same book, and I'm not scheduled yet, but I am having surgery and I'm going to be out for about 4 to 6 weeks, hopefully not that long. But I wanted to get this done and so I can organize before I have my surgery. So I am going to make it pretty maybe later or sporadically, and then once I finish I can do a little flip through of this. Now this is really important. You have 2 ways to glue this. The way we're doing it is going to be, oh, see, I have it backwards. If you guys want to, we're going to do it this way, where is, I don't know what you call these, the top of a mountain is what I'm going to call it. So this over here is the top of my mountain, and that needs to be inside. If we do it the other way, where it's the outside, I believe we're losing space. We're gonna lose the size, so that's not gonna work for us. So make sure, if you want to be true to the size of the book, you want to go ahead and make sure your mountain is inside. The top of the mountain is inside. So all I'm going to do is, to make it easier, is to line this up with the glue on the very top like this. And what I would do is I would put glue in here. I'll show you guys. Just gonna glue it. Try to line it up as much as close to the edge as possible. I know it's hard to see. So I would do this side, and then I would do this side. All right, so we got our first pouch pocket all done. This is this paper, for some reason, I guess it's pretty loose. It's a lot, what do you call it? Not tight. What's the opposite of tight? Loose. It opens pretty loosely, so I can even go smaller if I wanted to, but I'm going to stick with the size I have. So here's my pouch. I put it in here, and it sits there. And if we can also use like these clip if you wanted to just keep it closed. Oh, that's not big enough. Maybe paper clip, one of this big one. You can do it that way if you wanted to keep it closed, and then you just take it off if you want. But I don't mind it being open. So now what I need to do is I need to go ahead and make more of my connectors, glue them to my book. Again, if you are going to decorate and you're doing this cut, you want to go ahead, especially this page here, you want to go ahead and put the decoration in there. If you're going to ink, go ahead and ink your connectors before you glue them together. So the next step is going back to step number 4, which was optional, is cutting off the front of our pouch pocket. So I need to take off 1/2 inch, and I need to do that throughout my book. So I'm going to go ahead and do that off camera. The next step after that is going to be me mask making my connectors using my book page. I'm also going to make it sturdy and glue. I'm going to double it up. So that's also optional. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold them. After I have all my connectors ready, what I'm going to go ahead and do is, which is also optional, is inking. And I do like the look of putting a washi tape here. It makes it easier for me to see the opening of the pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and do that throughout the book. After that, I'm going to go ahead and put my pouch pockets all together, all ready for you guys to see. Just in case you all don't know how to make this little pouch, let me show you guys how to do this. All you're going to need are the paper bags that you are going to be using. And there are several ways you can cut your paper bag. You have it, mine is, this is the front, and I have it cut the same size as the bottom of the paper bag, like this. There's the bottom, and I just cut it to the line like this, like that. And this is going to be the front. The other way to cut it would be like this, which is, you are just cutting, like here, you're just cutting a little bit under the line. So it's gonna be somewhere like right there. And that gives you this front looking thing here. And I did a tab here to open it. I wanna do it this way because it's gonna make it easier for me to decorate it. With this one, you'll have to decorate the front and then this side over here, which is actually this side. So I think I'm just gonna do it this way since this is just my storage for my projects. You also have a choice of decorating the inside. All I did is some stamping and a book page. So depending on how strong your paper bag is, just keep in mind anytime that you put anything over it, it's gonna add more bulk to your pages. So as with this one, I don't have Archie decorated at all because it's a pretty thick paper bag. But you can go ahead and also decorate the back if you want. Let me show you guys how to cut the paper bag. I'm gonna use my cutting board, and to cut it, make sure you are cutting this way, not this way, because then you'll accidentally cut the edging of this. So all I do is, you can use a ruler with your X-Acto knife, or you can use your cutting board. So the way I do this to make it easier is I just line it up, and once I think it's lined up, I just hold it in place, lift this up, put that down, and then cut away. There it is. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and cut some of them and decorate them. I got my pouch decorated inside. I just, again, book page and some stamping. And I also used a chalkboard sticker that I got at the dollar store. They have one like these. These were kind of hard to find, so I grabbed what they have. And then I also purchased a chalk writer from the Dollar Tree. And I do not like this. It's a little, it's thick and it's hard for me to write, even in cursive and stuff. So I'm not sure, I need to find something better. But with this one, it's really simple. All you need is a damp paper cloth, and I just spray, and then I can erase, and then I can reuse it for whatever project I have next. If I've already completed my Home Sweet Home project, then I can just go ahead and reuse this. I also made a bigger one like this, and this one I just put in a book page in there. I just wanted a smooth surface because I don't know if you guys remember with Archie, there isn't one there, and it kind of, see, it's catching on to the, I guess the lining of the paper bag. I finished working on my pouch pockets. I wanted to show you guys an issue that I had. This book that I'm using, I guess the book page is, like I said, it was thin and it's soft, and it's also very bendable. When I put my pouch inside the pocket, it gives me this look. I'm not sure if that's clear, but it kind of bubbles up. Even though I flatten it out, it still does it. And then when you turn it, it does the same thing on the back, which I was not crazy about it, so I had to fix it. I had these scrapbook paper that I'm not crazy about. I don't even know where they came from. They're not my style. But to fix it, this is my template. I went and I put one I glued one inside like this, and then I glued one on the back like this. And let me show you guys the one that's finished. As you can see, there's one inside and then there's one on the back. And I just coffee dyed the back so it's not white. When I put my pouch in, it looks like this. And then like this. It still opens, but not too bad. So I went ahead and did a couple of my pouches with the backing. I will do a complete flip through once we finish the book. I did make some pockets on some of my pages. Like I have this one, and then I have this and this one. And I'll explain the pockets a little bit more later. But right now I would like to work on the closure. I know we're gonna need a closure for this book because it's gonna get pretty thick, but I wanna use something very simple. I want to use, these are just jeans buttons. I think they're called buttons, but they just connect with this thing here. And it's very simple to do. So I think I'm just gonna use this and then use a hair tie, like one of these, to the back of this and just clip it over. So let's go ahead and do that. Picked out my closure that I wanna use. I'm just gonna use this one. And then I have my, what do you call this thing? Oh my gosh, I forgot what they're called. But it comes with this machine, or this thing, my crocodile, and my eyelet. Oh my gosh. So now what I need to do is I just need to mark the center on the back, and then, on the front and then on the back. I have my markings down. I have a little dot there on the front, and then there's one on the back. So now I need to go ahead and use my crocodile and put a hole in there, and I'm using my biggest one, which is the 3/16. I have my hole punched, and I went ahead and put the eyelet on the back. So now I want to show you guys how to do the jean button. So we're gonna need a hammer, and what all we're doing is you need to put this together like this, and then we need to hammer it. So you might need, make sure your jean pocket or your jean button is placed to what you want it to. I'm not sure if we can adjust it, but that's kind of on there. And then just hammer. Loose. There it is. There you go. Then we need to do the elastic. I think I'm gonna go with the yellow. So you're just going to place your elastic in here, like this, and you just go under, and then when you need it, it just goes like that. That is it. I finished working on my project keeper. I didn't put all my projects that I have here. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of examples. As you can see, instead of using tab, I used paper clip and these cute little plastic safety pin. I think they're meant to be used for crocheting, I think. So I had a bunch of these and I thought I'd go ahead and use it. And what I did is I have a little index card that kind of tells me, okay, the light blue is for my son's journal that I'm working on. The orange is the Home Sweet Home. Red is Archie. And I'm just gonna leave this here in the front pocket. On the first pouch pocket that I have, I stored my template that I have here. I just used a paper clip. And then my next one here, as you can see, it's not backed up yet. I don't have any pocket. Depending on what I'm working on, it's gonna depend on the pocket that I wanna use. Because, like for instance, on Archie, I have this page for Archie and I have a spine. So I wanna keep the spine in case I make another journal that's the same size, and then I want to do the 2-inch spine, then I don't have to remake this all the time. Then I have an example here. These are all ideas, pockets that I want to put in Archie that I haven't done yet, so they're all in here. And then there's the Archie pouch, and that's what the red is. I have my Home Sweet Home. Sorry, Moon. I have the little pouch here. And then I have the, excuse me, Moon. And then I have the bigger one. And I also have my little square that I use to do my roof alignment when I'm working on that project. So I keep it all in here. And the reason why I wanted the pouch, because technically we could have put everything in here, but when I'm working on the project, I want to be able to just take all these 3 out and then put the book away and then work on it. Then when I'm done, I can just put it back in here till next time, and that will keep everything in place. The other ones I have is my son. Like here, I haven't deconstructed his journal yet, but I've already made a pocket here. It's a magnetized. And I have the template for his book page and another little envelope, paperclip, hidden paperclip pocket. So anything that I want to put in that book, I'm going to be putting it on these pages. I can use these pages, and I can also use the back over here. So a lot of these are still empty. I just added some, I had some paper that I can use for pockets. So I just added some in there. And like I said, to make sure your book is not going to be all, it's lopsided. If you guys are going to put pocket, if you're going to put a top pocket, make sure somewhere in the book you also put a bottom pocket. So that way you can offset it. Your book is not going to be just bulky at the bottom or bulky on the top or bulky in the middle. So mine is a mixture. So let's see, I have the top and then I have the bottom. And then with the cherry, I have one that is this one. So it's offset. And then I have one that is in the same, like this. And then of course, when you have a spine, you can just do any corner. Like I have one here for my boho journal. I have a spine, but my journal's already complete, and just to avoid from making another one, I just kept this one in here. And also sometimes we use those graph paper, which I've already lost all mine. I didn't keep them. So for the next one I have, I can go ahead and put them in this book. And this pretty much sums it up. This is not all my project. Like I said, I only put a couple just to give you guys an idea. Making this video took a little bit longer than I thought. It did give me some complication, but overall, I'm really glad that I took the time to make one. I think this is going to help me a lot to be organized and keep my stuff together. I hope you guys make one. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave a message below. And at the end of this video, I'm going to do a quick flip through of my pages. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Happy crafting.